Hello. So in this video, I'm going to quickly show you how to use a spreadsheet package. And of course, there are so many spreadsheet packages, but one of the most popular and widely used one is Microsoft Excel. So we're going to quickly learn how to make use of the Microsoft Excel. Of course, if you have Microsoft Office Suite in your system, you should be able to have Excel. So if you don't have Microsoft Office Suite in your system, maybe you can quickly go and subscribe with Microsoft, or maybe find yourself an Excel package to be able to follow along. So having said that, I'm going to open up my Excel package, and of course you can see my Excel package. This is my Microsoft Excel. So looking at this screen, you can see a lot of tools. You can see some boxes. So we're going to start with what these boxes are. So if you notice, this particular box is highlighted. If I click here, you can see this one becomes highlighted. If I click here, it becomes highlighted. All these boxes, we call the boxes cells. And if you notice, you can see some alphabet on the top, and you will see some numbers horizontally. So this particular box, like this vertical box, is called a column, and the columns are numbered in alphabet. They are labeled alphabetically. So this is column A, this is column B, this is column C, this is column F. And then horizontally, you see the rows. So these rows are numbered numerically. So this is row 1, this is row 6, this is row 15, and so on. And if I click on a cell, you can see that this cell falls on the intersection between column B and row 2. So this particular cell is numbered B2 because it is inside column B and row 2. If I take it a bit down here, you can see that we are in column E and row 6. And because of that, this cell is called E6. Also, if you look on the bottom left, you are going to see sheet 1. So this sheet 1 is like a collection of the cells. If I want to have another sheet, just like this is just like the ledger, a ledger book, where you have different lines or different headings and numbers, numbers on them. So this is sheet 1. If I want to have another sheet, I'm going to click on this plus icon here. It's going to give me another sheet, and you can see it is sheet 2. If I want to have another sheet, I'm going to click on this plus icon, then we'll have sheet 3. So this sheet 1, sheet 2, and sheet 3 is otherwise called worksheet. And then if you notice, all these worksheets are grouped together into what we call a workbook. So if you look at the title of this document, you can see book 1. So a workbook is a collection of worksheets, and a worksheet is a collection of cells. So you can see a worksheet is a collection of rows and columns. And for any of the worksheet that I click, it becomes the active sheet. So this is currently the active sheet, sheet 3. If I click on sheet 1 becomes the active sheet. And what we mean by active is the sheet in which we are currently working on. All right. Having looked at this, the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to briefly have an overview of what these tools are supposed to do, or what they do. And if you look, we'll have home, we'll have insert, we'll have page layout. All these things, we'll call them ribbons. All these tabs. If I click on here, the insert ribbon becomes active. So you can see series of tools that are under the insert ribbon. If I click on the home ribbon, you can see the tools under the home ribbon. This is the page layout ribbon. The page layout allows us, especially when you want to print your worksheet, we'll have the formulas, we'll have the data, we'll have review, we'll have the view, and so on. So let's go back to the home and then start. So the first thing that you do when you have your worksheet is probably you want to do some data entry. And how do you do your data entry? The first thing you do is to select the cell where you want to enter your data. Let's say I want to enter something like Apple here. You just go ahead and type whatever you want to enter. So immediately I click the enter, the next active cell is this particular one, this A2. Maybe I can type maybe orange. If I hit enter, it's going to move to this cell A3. I can type green. And the good thing about this is that you can quickly navigate around the worksheet. You can use your arrow keys, your up arrow keys to move up. You can use your down arrow keys to move down. You can use your right arrow keys to move towards the right. You can use the left one to move towards the left. So navigation is easy, especially when you are using the arrow keys. Okay, so let's say we want to put other things here. I can say maybe grape, maybe yellow, maybe green. So with this, I've been able to enter data. Then another thing you should keep in mind is, just like I've already entered green here, if I click here and type something on that cell, it's going to overwrite whatever that is there. If I type purple, you can see that it has erased the previous data there and replaced it with a new one. Or let's do something. Maybe I have maybe gray. I made a mistake in the spelling. How do I go about correcting it? So what you do is you select the cell, and if you notice, you can see something here. This is called formula bar. You can click inside the formula bar and use your backspace to remove the S, and then hit enter is going to do the correction. But if you just click on the cell and start typing, it's going to overwrite whatever that is there. So I'm going to click on delete to remove the data. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this clipboard section. We'll have the cut, we'll have the copy, and so on. So we're going to start with the cut. Cut simply means to move something from a present location to another location. For instance, if I don't want this green to be in this cell, I want to put it in another place, I have to use cut. So what I'll do is I'm going to select it and click on cut, and then go to the location where I want it to be, and then click on paste. And that easy way of doing this is I can select the cell I want to cut and do Ctrl X and move over to the place where I want to paste it, click there and do Ctrl V. That is the shortcut. Then another thing again is the copy. Copy is when you want to have a duplication, you want to retain the original, you do copy. So if I want to copy this particular item or this data to another place and still retaining the original one, I'm going to do copy. So I can click on copy and then go over here and click paste. Or I can still use my shortcut key, click Ctrl C for copy and go to where I want to paste it and do Ctrl V. It's going to paste it for me there. So let's go ahead and remove all these information or these ones. Okay, so we've done the copy, the cut, and the paste. The next thing we're going to do is that we're going to look at the font. And for the font, this font section allows us to, format our data maybe in a more pleasant way. Allows us to alter the feel and the look of the text information. So if you want to make something bold, you're going to use the bold. This one is for italics, this one is for underline. So first of all, what I'm going to do is, how do we select cells? If I want to select only one cell, I'll just click on the cell and it will be selected. If I want to select a group of cells, I'll click on the cell and drag it to maybe the next cell, to this other one. If I want to go down, I can drag it down. This is how to select a group of cells. So let's just let's select all of them. I'm going to select all of them. If you want to make it bold, you click on B. You can see it is bolden now. If you want to remove the boldness, you just click on the B. The bold goes away. Italicizing If you click on the I, it's going to italicize it for you. If you click it again, it's going to go. If you click on U, it's going to underline it. We'll have another variant of the underline, which is double underline. So you click on this drop down arrow here and select the double underline. It's going to give it double underlines. If you don't want the underline, just click it, it goes. Another one is the font. We have different fonts that you can make use of. So if you click here, this one is Calibri. There are so many other fonts to make your choices from. So as you are just scrolling down, the fonts are changing. So let's keep it at Arial. So this is for the font, and you can decide to make it bigger or smaller, and that has to do with the font size. Currently it's at 11. So I can click on this drop down arrow, and you can see it is increasing, it is reducing. So let's keep it at 12. And apart from the font size, we also have this particular one. This is increase font size. This is for decrease font size. So I can just click here. You can see it is increasing the font size. If I click here, it's decreasing the font size. And this brings me up to how to resize our rows and columns. If you notice, some part of the orange is hidden because of the size of the column. So if you want to increase your column size, you bring your mouse in between the A and the B and drag it towards the right. If you want to reduce it, you drag it towards the left. The same thing here. The same thing is applicable here. And if you want to increase the size of the rows, you can place your mouse in between the 1 and the 2, drag it down, also drag it down. Another way of doing it is you can just simply select, right click at this number, then you're going to see row height. Currently it's at 41.4. You can change it to 25. Okay. And a lot of times when you have a lot of records like this, it's best that all of them has the same size of the row height. You can simply select all of them, then do a right click, do row height, and then select maybe 25. So the same thing is applicable here. If you want to change the size of the column, you just go to column width. It's at 11.56. You can make it maybe 14. So it's bigger now. If you want to do it across all the or some group of columns, you select all of them, go to column width. Maybe we can make it 12. So beautiful. Then the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to be looking at borders. Borders has to do with the lines that you want to put across the cells or across a group of data. For instance, I can select this particular cell and go over here. This is going to allow me to put borders around the cell. So you can see bottom border. So this is going to apply a border. You can see a line at the bottom of the cell. So this is for bottom border. If I want the border to be at the top, I can click here. It's going to put it at the top. Probably you cannot see it very well, but if I apply it here, you can see that it's at the top. Then another one is, let's say you want to do right border. If I click right border, you can see there's a right border there. If you want maybe all borders, you can click here. It's going to put border across every side of the cell. So but let's say I select all of them and I put all borders. It's going to put borders around all the cells, all the sides of the cells. So let me remove the borders. You select it, go ahead and say no border. And if I want to put border only at the edge, on the outside of the group of cells, I can simply select the cells and I will use outside borders. You can see the borders are outside but not within the cells. And we also have different thicknesses for our borders. Let's say I want a thick outside border. I'll click on the thick outside border. You can see it is thick now, and so on. So you can play around with the borders. Then the next thing is colors. We'll have two ways of applying colors. We'll have, this one is called the fill color, this one is called the font color. So the font color is applied on the text, the fill color is applied on the cell. So if I click on this particular cell and apply it a fill color, so this is yellow, you can see the color of the cell is yellow. And I have the option of selecting numerous other colors. I have a series of colors or tons of colors I can make choices from. If I don't see the color I want here, I can click on more colors. I can specify the color that I want. I can go to custom and provide maybe the RGB value for the color or the hex value for the color that I want to use. So let's go ahead and maybe choose this one and click OK. So it's going to give it a fill color. Then we'll have the font color that allows us to add color on the text. Maybe I want it to be white. You can see it is white. I want it to be green. I want it any color I want. I can even go to more colors and make my choice. Maybe something like this would be okay. So this is how to apply colors. Then the next thing we're going to look at is the alignment. The alignment has to do with how your data or how your records are aligned to the cells. So for instance, let's look at the purple, and here you can see we have, this is left alignment. Maybe you may not notice it, but if I drag this a little bit like this, of course it seems aligned towards the left. So let's go on left alignment. It seems like nothing happened. If I click on center alignment, you can see it is now at the center, and then right alignment moves it to the right. Then we'll now have another one. This one is called the top alignment. It's going to move it towards the top of the cell. This is the middle alignment towards the middle, and then this is a bottom alignment. So it's going to align it to the bottom. And this is for indentations. If I click on increase indentation, you can see it is bringing it. If I click on this, it is bringing it towards the other side. So that's indentation. And then we'll have merging and unmerging of cells. This allows us to join a group of cells into one. For instance, we'll have 3 cells here, and if I want to make it one cell, I'll just click on the merge and center. It's going to merge it and center it for me. So if I type something there, maybe hello, you can see it is being treated as one cell. If I want to unmerge it, I can click on unmerge cells, and it's going to unmerge those cells for me. And then we'll have another one which we'll call the test wrap. Very important. Let's go to this orange, and I see orange fruit. Something like this. You can see that the fruit something is hidden, but that may be not the way I intended it to be. But with test wrapping, I can be able to fix this. So I'll click on the cell and go to wrap test, and it is okay. But still it is not showing, probably because of the height of the row. So I can drag it down like this. You can see it is now wrapped into the next line. If I remove this wrapping, it will still go inside. So this is what the test wrapping does for us. Then the next thing we're going to be looking at is the number formatting. How do we format our numbers? Or how do we tell Excel that this particular data is numeric in nature, the other one is textual? So let's say we'll have item, and then we'll have amount, or let's say quantity, and we'll have amount. So let's go with this one. So item is maybe grape, we'll have orange, we'll have mango. So these are the items. I can decide to bold this at least to differentiate it from the rest. So this is bolden now. And quantity, we'll have 2, we'll have 3, we'll have maybe 6. For this amount, let's say we'll call this one 1,000, call this 2,000, we'll call this 1,500. So this is our data. And we can format all of them to align towards the left like this. So if you look, this one is grape, is a textual data. This is a textual data. This is a textual data. But these particular ones are numbers. And this amount normally have decimal places. So you can actually tell Excel the type of data that this amount is. So if you click on this general here, this icon here at the number, you can see different options. We have general, we have number, we have currency, we have accounting, date, and so on. So let's just put it at numbers. You can see now it has 2 decimal places. And if you notice, we have a dollar symbol here. You can click on dollar to show that it is currency. You can remove or add more decimal points. So it is now at 3 decimal places. If I click again, 4 decimal. If I click towards the, you can see that decimal places are reducing. Or better still, you can select this, go to right click on it and click on format cells. Then you see range of options that you can use to format your data. All right. Then finally, we can now say maybe total amount, something like this. I'm going to increase this. So what I intend to do is that I want to multiply the quantity by the amount to get the total amount, and that requires us to make use of formulas. I'm going to be very snappy about this. So what you do is you go over here and say equal to, you select the cell in question, you want to multiply this by this value, and then put a multiplication symbol. Asterisk is used for multiplication, plus is used for addition, and so on. And slash is used for division, and then you select this cell and hit enter. It's going to give you the total amount. Then if you want to copy formulas, you just click here and do Ctrl C, then drag it down and do Ctrl V. This should be able to replicate the formulas across other cells. And maybe you can now have gross amount. I want the amount to be here. And I can select these cells and have them merged. But I want it merged towards the left. I want it to be aligned towards the left. I can make it aligned towards the left. I can make this bold. Then I'm going to be making use of the auto sum to sum up these totals. So I'm going to select these cells all the way to here, go to formulas, and then click on auto sum, and it's going to give me total sum. I can make this bold. And go to home, click B, or I press Ctrl B. It's going to bold it for you. So with this, I think you should be able to be up and running with your Excel. But if you really want to take your Excel knowledge to the next level, you can enroll for our Excel course, which will quickly put you up to speed from beginner to advanced. And if you find this video valuable, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you, and see you some other time.